We're just going to wait for people to come in. I've been walking around the room talking to about 20, 30 people, as many as I could. If I could get round all of you, I really wish I could, but I can't. Unfortunately, I've been told I can't clone myself. But the findings that I was hearing as I was going around the room from probably 75% of the people I was speaking to is, hey, you know, we have on-premises, or this is new. I'm really trying to get a sense of what modern data warehousing means, how it can fit in to my business, what the capabilities are. What about this announcement about Synapse this morning? How does that impact it? You know, when should we use what, where, when, how? Is that kind of reflected by the feeling of most people in this room? Could I have a show of hands if it's kind of looking at that? Please keep them up, because I've struggled to see. So it's probably looking at a hand count about 50, 60%. I mean, we're due to start in a couple of minutes, so I'm just letting people come in. But how many people are in this room after like maybe an edge case scenario or some deep dive aspect of this? A couple of you. Okay. We'll try and answer it as best as we can, but I just want to make you aware I am available after the session for very specific questions. I also want to make you aware that after this presentation, I am going to be over in the Microsoft Learn booth as well over the course of the week. One of the great things about Ignite this year is that if you're a speaker, you have to commit to, I think it's about 16 hours of booth duty. So the speakers that you're seeing are going to be there. I actively encourage you to come and talk to us, because we want to hear what you've got to say. Yeah, and we can offer you advice, but we also want feedback on our products as well. So I'm making it 2 minutes towards starting time, and then we'll begin. But thank you for sharing your thoughts on what I think. I'm going to adjust the presentation slightly to meet the majority. And for those who are wanting edge case scenarios, I will definitely be available for you to answer your questions. And you know what? If I don't know the answer, I know someone who does. Okay? How's your Ignite so far? You enjoying it? Yeah. Brilliant. So what was the big thing for you? Was it Synapse? Yeah. Yeah. Was it Arc? Yeah. Have you heard about big data clusters in SQL Server 2019? Yeah. You're listing at my work list for the next 6 months of my life. Yeah, I was watching Satya's keynote this morning, and it felt like, hey, he's giving me a running list of the work that Manasa and I will be doing in the next few months, right, Manasa? So, we are counting down. Last couple of people coming in. Brilliant. And we shall begin. I believe this is 45 minutes. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. It's very precious. It's very important. So I'm going to level set what this presentation is about and how it's fitting into a number of presentations during the week. I will not be offended if this session is not for you and you would prefer to see something else. Your time is important, but I thank you for spending it with me, and I hope I can give you a lot of information. My name's Testa-O'Neill. I work in Worldwide Learning. Prior to that, I was a consultant working on many BI projects with a number of different consultancies specializing in business intelligence. I then moved into a world of advanced analytics where I was working for consultancies there, and I ended up working on the AI engineering team. I worked specifically with the cognitive services team there, working with bot framework and the interaction with various cognitive services, because I wasn't the AI expert, but I was the guy that was brought in to go, hey, we've got this bot generating data. How can we engineer all that conversational data in such a way that it can bring value to our data? So for me, the journey in the modern data warehouse has been one that's it's been an evolution, and it's been one where progressively it's moving. It's not that transactional systems are being ignored, absolutely not. It's just that I'm accounting for more unstructured sources as well. And that is especially relevant when we're working with AI solutions that use images, natural language processing, text analytics, and that kind of thing. Now, this is the first of a series of presentations that cover the Azure Modern Data Warehouse. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Today's session is about level setting the kind of things that we'll be covering over the week. So tomorrow morning at 9:15, we will be looking specifically at Azure Data Factory. There's super exciting features that have just gone general with regards to ingesting data and doing transformations, and I'm really excited to share some of that with you on Tuesday and on Wednesday. Now, we'll be looking at data loading best practices on Friday morning, and we'll be looking at query performance tuning in Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Now, I know some people in the room have questions in regards to Synapse, and basically, as we go through this during the week, we'll be giving you more information as we go through. That is how we're going to do it. This is a series of presentations over the course of the week, and this is number one, the Azure Modern Data Warehouse. So this is kind of, if you put your hand up and said, I'm really after a good overview of the capabilities and what it can do, this is the session for you, okay? And then we'll deep dive into the various components through these other sessions. Is that okay? Excellent. So, why do we modernize? Well, we modernize first and foremostly because there's been an evolution with the database systems that we've been using. You know, back in the 80s, 90s, we moved from line of business, ERP applications, and progressively, it's becoming more and more the case that we're dealing with wide range of data, huge varieties, and at various velocities as well. You may have heard Satya talking this morning about the zettabytes of data that's going to be available by 2025. Now, the relational side will take up a percentage of that, but more and more of it is unstructured. And as businesses, we need to try and figure out how do we get value from that. How many people in this room have built a data warehouse? Hands up. Right. So tell me if this feeling is right, because when I was going into consultancies and you were talking about data warehouse, two things will come up. First of all, it will be, we want a real-time data warehouse. How many of you have heard that? Yeah? Yeah? And you're like, okay, hang on a minute. What's real-time to you? Like, immediate. And then once you start showing them the cost of the hardware to support that, they go, oh, we meant 15, oh, we meant 1 hour, oh, we meant half a day. That's real-time for us. So that was the big problem, right? The second problem, particularly within BI projects as well, was how many of you would say, well, we've got this data store and we've got this data store, and Jonathan over there has got it's really bad. We've got loads of PDFs because when a new motorist gets a new insurance policy with us, they have to give us proof of no claims discount. And that involves, from the previous company, a letter that says, this driver has been safe. They send us a letter, we look at it, we give them the no claims discount. We want to process all that data, and it's in PDF. Well, that was hard work too, right? Well, today we've got the technologies that can handle that. And that's been borne out by giving us the opportunity to look at analytics in a different way. You know, with on-premises SQL Server, it's evolving rapidly more and more to support a range of analytics, and also in the cloud as well. So more and more, we're evolving our analysis from descriptive to include diagnostic, predictive, prescriptive, and particularly when I was in the AI team, I was working with a lot of cognitive analytics, right? Dealing with images, dealing with text. We had people far more intelligent than me who could process that from a data science perspective. But if there's one thing data scientists don't like, they get bored very easily of pre-processing the data. So they'd rather I did it because I have the skills to do that. And I'm very happy doing that. So, you know, I became good friends with a lot of data scientists at Microsoft. I mowed a lot of beers apparently as well. Still waiting for them. So moving on. This just feels overwhelming, right? Or do you all think it's easy? Because for me, I'm like, really? Oh my God, where do I start with this? And you know what? Take a deep breath, because in my humble opinion, I used to feel like that about SQL Server back in 2000, then 2005, 2012. I mean, in 2008, I wrote the entire curriculum for SQL Server 2008, from development, admin, business intelligence, data mining, the whole works. By 2014, they said, do you want to do that again, Chris? I went, I'm done. I can't keep up with the pace of change. So we need to be pragmatic in our approach, using the technologies that derive the business value that we need. Don't use Synapse if it doesn't work for you. We have a range of other technologies that can help. Although I have to say Synapse is very cool. You know, and I encourage you to see the demos on it. It's really like, oh my God, jaw-dropping speed. It's unbelievable. So the recommendation, if any of you follow me on LinkedIn, for the last 6-7 months, I've been doing posts about data engineering because the biggest complaint we get is, I don't have time to learn. So I have this motion going on a daily basis where I give 2 posts a day, 10 minutes work for you each, to learn about Databricks, Cosmos DB, Hadoop, all that work, right? But I think it works better if you see it in the context of what benefits it can bring. And first of all, it's the elastic architecture, the fact that you can scale up and scale down. We've all become very familiar with that from Azure. But the workload is optimized. How many of you saw the keynote this morning? Yeah? And you saw Rohan doing the demo of the performance of that. There's a lot of work that's going at the back of Synapse with regards to how it's optimized. And you can scale it up and scale it down. You can analyze a wide range of data. It gives you hybrid scenarios as well. The great thing about this is you don't get the data silos that you used to get with traditional BI projects. So for example, you know, you can have one data lake and process everything from there. It's basically one source of truth that serves many outcomes. And then the governed self-service is through tools like Power BI and so forth. So let's consider a scenario. This is where modern data warehousing fits into other kind of scenarios, right? So if you want to integrate all of your data, including big data, you can do that through warehousing, yeah? But some of you may want to consider going one step further and doing advanced analytics. And this is the point. Do you remember that slide about the various types of analytics? Show of hand. Do you know what descriptive analytics is? Hands. Well, if you don't, you do if you do BI. Loading data into a data warehouse to provide historical reports is descriptive analytics, right? It is looking back in the rearview mirror, answering the question, what happened? Does that make sense? So if you're doing that, you're doing descriptive analytics. Do you know what diagnostic analytics are? Yes, ma'am? Correct. Love it. Why did it happen? And what tool do you use to do that in the past? Probably Excel. Yeah, probably Excel. But we are finding other ways to do it. And then you've got predictive analytics, right? Which is, say that again. How did you say? So I'm deaf. I really need to get my ears sorted out. But it's performing prediction on a number of different levels, yeah? Whether it's regression analysis for forecasting, are you doing some kind of classification? I did a lot of that with images and custom vision service. So the prediction is kind of taking that and, you know, using prediction as a capability to help you plan things, right? Predictive maintenance being the other example. And then, of course, the growing area that I get excited about is cognitive analytics. The notion that I've got a bot, someone's communicating with that bot, and by default, because the way we work at Microsoft on trust, bots don't save conversational history by default. We don't want to do that. But if you choose to set that up, and I do advise that you advise the customer that you're doing that, there's nothing stopping you from storing that conversation history in a data lake or in Cosmos DB. Now, all of a sudden, if you've got transactional history about what the person has bought, and you can reconcile that through bot authentication, yeah, you might be able to tie a user's activity and the conversations, and that opens up a fascinating world of sentiment analysis, text analytics, and the reality is you're not going to do that through a relational big data store. You need something else, and that's where Azure Databricks can help, yeah, because that is effectively a Spark cluster that enables you to perform that predictive analytics there. So, you know, you're looking at data warehouse to do the modern data warehousing, the relational big data store. You're looking at maybe HD Insight or Azure Databricks to do the advanced analytics, right? So what does Synapse do? Both. We bring the world of the big relational data store with the world of the big data store, and we bring it together, and nothing but goodness will happen. I live in a country where they lie to me a lot at the minute, so no. It is very early days with Synapse, but the initial works that I'm seeing from Synapse, I don't work for that product group, so let me be absolutely clear on that. But what I'm seeing coming out of that team in the last week, it's really exciting stuff. The other thing I want to talk about is answering that question right at the beginning when you all chuckled at it, like, I want a data warehouse. I want a real-time data warehouse. Well, in this day and age, it's becoming a reality. It's becoming a reality. How? Well, we've got streaming ingestion through Kafka. Yeah, we can do streaming ingestion in Databricks. We can even do streaming ingestion through stream analytics. Yeah, the notion of performing the analysis as the data comes in, so you're getting real-time insights as that data's coming in. Does that make sense? So, show of hands. How many people in this room would really look at doing modern data warehousing? Hands up. Okay. How many people will probably do this for the benefit of advanced analytics, maybe some data science activity through Databricks? Nice, nice. I like that. And what about streaming scenarios? Show of hands. Think about this. 5 years ago, we wouldn't have got those hands up, would we? And that's how fast this world is evolving. And you know what? It scared me. It really, as a SQL Server professional for 20 years, I felt completely overwhelmed. But I thought, you know what? What have I got to lose? And I just threw myself in it. I don't mind admitting I don't know all of it, but I'm learning as I go. And you know what it's like at work, yeah? You figure it out the night before, don't you, when you're going to your customer, trying to fix something? Yeah, you do. So, we're going to focus on modern data warehousing, right? Looking at how we integrate all our data into our data warehouse. And basically what I want to do is just bring up a number of areas to talk about, because it's all well and good talking about technologies, but for me, process is just as important as technologies, right? So you've got to understand the process. And the third aspect of this, to complete the triangle, is people as well. And that's where Satya's talk on tech intensity became really, really important. So we ingest and prep. That is our focus in the next 2 sessions. So here, on Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be diving into Azure Data Factory, looking at code-free data ingestion, right? There's been some great updates to the technology that makes it easier for you to do the standard data cleansing, business transformation logic with no code at all. What I love about it is I can fire up a Spark cluster at the click of a button. I mean, just a click of a button, nothing else. This gives me the ability to test and debug the work that I do. With the ingest and prep, you want to serve it. Now, yes, you could take data out directly from Azure Databricks. But really what you want to do is you want to serve it in an analytical layer, such as Azure Synapse, but it could be SQL Data Warehouse. And essentially, you'll visualize that through Power BI. Now, underpinning this is Azure Data Lake Store. Okay? particularly with the Gen 2. So what you got here is a situation where you can ingest data into a single store and then use it for purposes, because you can use it in a data warehouse where it's a schema on write, or you can use it as a schema on read, where you define the schema on Databricks as you're analysing it. Is there any questions at this point? Please could I ask you to go to the microphone? And if anyone does have a question, we have a microphone here, here, and here. And may I start with you? Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
Yeah, we should get that microphone down a bit.
Can
yeah,
you hear
that's
me?
great. Perfect. What's your name?
Marina Barnes.
Hi, what's your question?
The question is, what's the future of the Azure Analysis Services?
Oh. Azure Analysis Services, and I don't work for the product group, still plays a very, very important role. Yeah, because it helps with the Azure SQL Data Warehouse scenario, right? Because the limitation of Azure SQL Data Warehouse is the number of concurrent connections that you can have against that data store. Synapse solves that problem, just to make you aware. But what the problem we were getting from customers is that we had limited connections for querying. So the way we did the workaround was we cached that in analysis services so that we could increase the concurrent load on that data. So analysis services isn't going anywhere. Okay, does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Great. What was the other question? Oh, maybe I scared him. Sorry. Oh, you don't want to get up, do you?
That's the same question.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Would you use Azure Data Factory to get data up to just a SQL database in Azure, not like a data warehouse? Or would you just use SSIS?
So the question, you know what the question was because he was on the microphone. So would I use SSIS to load data up, or would I use Azure Data Factory? It depends on the store, right? So for Azure SQL Data Warehouse, it's really advisable. You've spent years, right, investing in SQL Server integration services, right? I don't want you to lose that investment, first and foremost. That's a massive investment that your organization's made. What I generally advise customers there is, if you've got that significant investment in integration services, change the output of that work into files, yeah? Because the best way to load data into SQL Data Warehouse is using Polybase, and Polybase is a file-based data load. We talk about that in depth on Friday's session. So I would say the best thing, the answer to your question is, it's both. So with SQL Data Warehouse as your destination, you'll probably use your existing sys packages, but output them to a file, maybe a compressed delimited file, yeah? And then you use Polybase to upload those files because it's highly efficient doing it that way. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Perfect. Right. So now that we've seen the process, let's have a look at this in a bit more context, because, you know, we saw all the technologies and I said, this is overwhelming, right? I acknowledge that. So from an ingestion perspective, we have a number of options, which leads quite nicely into the question that Justin just asked there. Justin and I don't know each other. I can just read his name badge. So Data Factory, in that scenario, would be the best thing to use. Ingestion into Synapse Polybase is really good. Polybase is becoming a really big thing in the SQL 2019 feature of big data clusters as well. So if there's one thing to take away about data ingestion is learning Polybase. The great thing of Polybase in Azure Data Factory, though, is it's a couple of clicks, right? You don't have to do much compared to if you were doing it purely in T-SQL. If you've got massive amounts of data, use the Azure Import-Export service. We can, you know, I don't know which vendor we use, but there is someone who will pick up your hard disks and ship them to our data center and we'll upload them for you. So you've got a wide range of data ingestion tools. From a data storage perspective, number of options here. Blob, yeah, but the recommended typically is Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 because it has a hierarchical namespace which works very well with Hadoop Distributed File System-based systems, HDFS, okay? So I would recommend Gen2, but I wouldn't rule out Azure Blob. That has its uses, right? A really good example of Azure Blob would be, imagine you're just using images for a web page. You're not querying that data, it's just being used to surface. You're creating a website and you're using images. It's the cheapest storage option you could use, but you can't query it directly. So it will be useful for that. In terms of ingestion, let's not forget, I feel like I'm ignoring you guys, so I'm going to talk to you a bit. Let's not forget transactional data stores as well, right? You know, we still have whatever it is, Oracle, SQL, Sybase, MySQL, Postgres systems that are working. So you may have ingestion in two forms, unstructured data and relational data. How do we handle that? Azure Data Factory works quite well. Remember that Azure Data Factory can connect to your on-premises SQL server. So this helps in your migrations. Yes. Data preparation. Azure Databricks, Data Factory, HD Insight, these are a range of technologies that you can use. Funnily enough, on Friday night, we released a HD Insight course on Microsoft.com/learn. So for any of you who want to learn about HD Insight, you can go to that website and pick up information about it. Azure Databricks, you know, used extensively for data engineering tasks. It will process a tremendous amount of data. The reason is because it basically uses RDD, which is distributed data sets, and that kind of uploads data into memory, which makes it quite quick. Yeah? If anyone's wondering why you would use Spark over Hadoop, speed usually. And then Data Factory we've mentioned already. Hopefully the answer to your question with Azure Analysis Services is brought out with this diagram as well for anyone who was concerned about that. Still has a role, just 1 minute. And of course we can serve this using Synapse Analytics or Azure Data Warehouse or Cosmos DB. Visualization, of course, done through Power BI by hopefully the business users. Okay, so you have a question.
Yeah, conspicuous in its absence is data integration.
Data integration, yeah, well, could you, sorry to get you to go back to the microphone, can you clarify what that means? Because I have different meanings.
Common enterprise data model.
Okay, that's fair. And what would you like to see there? I'm sorry to keep... And what would you like to see?
You're all week.
Actually, this is proving quite useful. I might do this all day. What would you like to see in that space?
Well, I'm just seeing where do you see it fitting in and what components are best served for that type of capability?
Give me a use case.
So we're going to be pulling in from multiple sources, let's say 8 to N sources.
Yeah.
And we're representing it as an enterprise data model, conceptual, logical
Sure.
data model, and we want to point it to all the physical instances of
Sure.
the data to have a common view, the single version
The
of
single
truth,
version of the truth.
the land of the lost.
Yeah, I think that's a fascinating question, and you can sit down now.
Thank you.
One more thing. Thank you. That's an excellent question. You need to consider, first and foremostly, what is the exercise of what you're doing? What is the organization's strategy, and what is the value they're trying to derive? Is it just historical reporting, descriptive analytics? Or is it prescriptive analytics or predictive analytics? Or is it descriptive analytics with a view to, in the future at some point, we don't know when, to do predictive analytics, right? And there is no easy answer to this, but here's where I'll go with it. The data integration, for me, is reflected by 2 parts on that slide: data storage and operational data. So you've got a choice. You could choose to use a file system with the Azure Data Lake storage, create folders within that file system that relate to different. It's very difficult to say, but they could represent staging environments, operational data store environment. Do you understand where I'm going with it? Do you know where I'm going with this? I can't give you a definitive answer, but I used to call it, when I was doing a data warehousing project, landing zone. I've got a landing zone because for me in data warehousing in the past, the rule was always the same. Do not hurt the revenue earning service. Under pain of death, if you bring that system down, you will get fired, right? So typically, if you were grabbing data from an operational system that was earning the company revenue, you really only light touched it and hit it in. So to go back to your point, I might make a conscious decision that I have an ERP system or I have a transactional system that is so hammered that I know I've got this window, so I'm just going to take a dump of the data into my landing zone and we'll take it from there. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we'll do the downstream processing. I guess the short answer is I think Azure Data Lake Store Gen2 could be the good landing space for that enterprise bringing everything together. Does that answer your question?
So that's the landing part. What about the integration?
Between all the various technologies. So what about the integration between all the various technologies? You've got to think about building frameworks, right? You're going to have to think about building frameworks. We do have the monitoring capabilities in place in Azure Data Factory to help you out when things go wrong. But, invariably with complex systems like that, you probably want a bit more. So you may add your own stuff to that as well. Okay? I'm going to move on. Don't think there's anyone there. So let's have a look at an example. The first thing to note about this example is that someone could turn around and go, I would do it differently. And you know what? Yeah, you probably could. Because different organizations usually have different requirements, different governance, different legal and compliance things. So there's no right or wrong solution, right? There's only optimal solutions. Lead with certain solutions, right? So maybe you'll find common patterns with advanced analytics that look good. But be flexible, yeah? Don't be afraid to, as Satya would say, exercise growth mindset and think through that and keep an open mind there. The customer's voice is really important. That goes back to my point that, I think most people who spoke to me on an individual level before this presentation realized that for me it's about driving business value. It's not about pushing tin. It's not about selling products. It's about getting business value. So the customer's voice is more important than the products that you're using. Try and get the balance between price and performance right. I know we get a little bit too keen going, let it go fast, let it go fast, let it go fast. And then someone said there was like a 50,000 bill because someone wanted the thing to go fast. Get that balance right. At the end of the day, if someone's only doing their analytics at 9 o'clock in the morning and you shut up shop at 10 o'clock at night, right, maybe you don't need it to be the highest performing tier. You can cope with it to go a bit longer. And this has been certainly true for me this week. Everything is fluid. What was the right solution 24 hours ago may not necessarily be the right solution 24 hours later. And that's no different with any of us cloud providers, right? So we have to keep on touch. But that's what keeps it fun, right? I'm not hearing the enthusiasm there. Maybe it's because it's the last session and you're waiting for the welcome reception. So data ingestion and storage, let's look at that. Basically, Azure Data Factory can be used to move the data into a data lake store, right? But do not forget that we have transactional considerations as well. Does that make sense? And we are going to be looking at ingestion. I'll be creating an ingestion pipeline tomorrow morning, okay? Data preparation, the bit the data scientist doesn't like, right? but gives us ample opportunity. Hey, I tell you, they owe me a lot of beers. That's all I'm saying. It's cleansing, it's structuring, it's curation, it's aggregation, right? You will take that preparation so far. Do not be offended if a data scientist does more. They know what they're doing around the algorithms, yeah? This is where the data is batch processed, typically for data warehousing scenarios, and loaded into it. So, Azure Data Factory, you'll see tomorrow, not tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll be showing you the different ways you can transform data, but I'll be focusing on one in particular, which is the mapping data flow that's been released recently. Okay? So, what do you want to do? Well, if you want to do advanced analytics, prepare the data in Azure Databricks, yeah? And do your work in there, do the advanced analytics there. But regardless, you will want to serve that within Azure SQL Data Warehouse or Synapse, okay? And of course, what we discussed with Synapse brings it all together. So you're going from 2 products to 1. Does that make sense? Oh, sorry, I clicked it twice. I was just seeing if you were paying attention. The thing is, you could use something like Databricks, right, where the actual predictive analytics that you're doing is generating new data, right? It is going to generate new data. So there might be 2 things you want to do with that, right? You might want to put it in Synapse or Azure SQL Data Warehouse because you're presenting that as a serving layer. And remember, I said there's no right or wrong answers. I will come to you in 1 minute, sir. I said there's no right or wrong answers, right? You could actually output the results of a Databricks prediction experiment to SQL Data Warehouse to serve it through to Power BI. But guess what? You're also putting the results in Data Lake as well. Why? Because at the end of the year, you're going to do an analysis using a clustering algorithm on all those results to see if there's a pattern emerging. Does that make sense? There's no right or wrong answers, so you can basically flip the data the way you want. What's your question, sir?
Will you be sharing the slide deck?
All the slide decks from Ignite get shared post-event, I believe. If not, I'll give you my card and you can peck my head, as we say in the UK.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And then, of course, it's up to you then to use the Power BI dashboard against Synapse Server, the data warehouse, and so forth to do that. Is there any other questions around here? Please go to the microphone. As I said, this session is about the overview of it. So personally, I welcome the questions because I can address your issues then. Yes, sir.
So how do you see auditability and traceability fitting into this?
Oh, as if you read my last slide, right? We take that into account, right? So the security is at the forefront of everything we do, okay? It depends on what technology you're talking about, yeah? In here, it's a big subject, so I can take it offline with you after if you want. Sir, what's your question?
I may be jumping the gun, but role-level security, how would Synapse handle that?
Let me get back to you on that.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
let me get back to you on that. Yeah. Okay. Someone's running to the microphone. You've only... Yeah, sorry, there you go.
Yeah, a quick question. Is there any story, we have a customer, an enterprise customer who has a location in a country and the data cannot leave on-prem.
So
everything else
sovereignty.
Is in Azure. Yeah, sovereignty. So everything else is in Azure. Is there any on-prem story for any piece of the data warehousing side of this?
Big data clusters in SQL Server 2019.
Okay.
That's what I would look at there.
Thank you.
Because then you can use that for both on-premise, hybrid, or cloud.
Appreciate it.
That's what you need to look at. Thank you, sir.
sir.
Next question. Well, sorry, this gentleman's at the mic.
If you...
Oh, Azure Stack. Yeah, sorry. Azure Stack as well.
If you have like 17 million rows and some cloud service and you can get it through an API, can you hook Azure Databricks up to the API to automate that? Or are you going to not be able to do that?
So you're looking at the automation of pulling data through Azure Databricks. I would be tempted to consider that through ADF, through its scheduler or trigger activity. Through Azure Data Factory, through its triggering or scheduling activity. That will probably be the best way to do that. Okay? Yes, sir?
Hi, yeah, my question is, if the existing pattern, does that still hold true if it's not big data? Like we're only talking like
That's a good
20
question.
or 25 terabytes of data?
I'm not sure about 25. Did you say 25 megabytes?
Terabytes.
I did say I was deaf. Terabytes. That's a lot of data to process, right? So you're definitely going to be using Synapse, Databricks to actually process that data because it's got, at the end of the day, it's a distributed environment, right? It's about parallelism of those various workloads across the various nodes. So for 25 terabytes a day, you are definitely going to do that. What was the point of your question? I'm trying to...
Did the pattern stay the same?
Oh, did the pattern stay the same?
If you're on the low end, you're not technically big data, but you know that smaller.
You use the scaling capability to deal with the different volumes and sizes of data, for example, right? So if you know you're going to be processing 25 terabytes over a certain period of time, you're going to whack that up, right, to deal with that processing, and once it's done, you'll bring it down. So that's really important about the elastic scale, being able to scale up and scale down on demand to deal with those different data loads. Does that make sense? Right, so last slide before just showing you a couple of things is there is security embedded with everything that we do, so you can apply that within Databricks, Data Lake Store, Data Warehouse, and Synapse. Automation, that's what you want to look at doing largely through Azure Data Factory. And again, we'll show you examples of that during the week. And there is monitoring capabilities that gives you help. And that's being done on Friday. Yeah? So, fortunately, this is not responding. So the kind of things we're going to be looking at during the week, just to give you a sneak preview, right, is within the Azure portal, we're going to look at various things such as, let's go into resource groups. Okay. So we're going to look at things such as creating and loading data lake stores, using Azure Data Factory, working with Databricks. And one of the things that I'll give you a sneak preview of that because I've got 5 minutes basically left. The stuff that you're seeing here, right, is what I'll be building up during the week, right? So basically what I'm giving you is a choice. If you want to see this during the week, definitely come to my sessions. But as I said right at the beginning, your time is very, very important. So here's a sneak preview of one of the things that we'll look at earlier on in the week, right? So for example, we've got an Azure Data Factory offering data ingestion and using the mapping data flow. So we'll just wait for that to open up. And if I just go and edit that, what you'll see here, that's a bit of a worry. My pipeline's disappeared. Oh dear. Oh, that's really bad. Oh my God. What that means is you're going to have to come tomorrow and think it to see me build it up from scratch. But the other thing that we'll be looking at is building up the data lake store, using various tools to upload files in it, managing folders, managing file systems, that sort of stuff like in containers here. We have a file system in there called landing zone. You're going to see data loading into that. You're basically just going to see it go to the various systems. That's the intention. And like I said, the whole point of this first session is to level set what's happening during the week, because for the first time at Ignite, we're doing what's called learning paths. And I've been selected to do one of those learning paths, which is 5 courses. I don't know if that's come across through our communications at all. So this is a part of a bigger story, okay? So I apologize for not having the completed thing published there, but I promise you I will build it in the next 2 days in my next 2 presentations. And if you don't come up, I'll do a quick video recording and put it on LinkedIn, right? And you can see it there. Is there any questions at all about this? Yes, sir.
Are you guys tagging data so that I can, when I get my bill in the end of the month, be able to slice and dice to who is spending what?
So the slicing and dicing of data is done through the subscription management, where you can control the tagging to slice and dice that up. This is really something where you look at managing the accounts within the subscription, so that you may have separate accounts per department, for example, so you can control that billing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? On that case then, I'll let you go 2 minutes early so you can get the first beers at the welcome reception. I am at the welcome room. Thank you very much. Thank you.